Jackie Shopes.
And I'm Mary Sampe.
And this is Challenge Accepted. Today we are here at Morrell Volunteer Fire Department for a Bigfoot Symposium. It is amazing. There are so many people here to talk about Bigfoot, and not only Bigfoot, but
yeah, lots of different paranormal activity, UFO sightings, and people are going to talk about the different encounters they've had locally.
It's amazing. I prepped for this. Did you?
Absolutely. I do my research.
I happened to watch Harry and the Hendersons.
And
me too.
Because you did not.
It was on Netflix.
Yes, I didn't even ask her if she was going to prep it. We totally did. I mean, great minds think alike. It's amazing. You know, when you come to these kind of events, you really need to know what you're getting yourself into.
Absolutely.
You know, I haven't actually ever seen Bigfoot. I mean, I do go outside and I do, you know, run around in the woods. I mean, not awkward, but I do have to, you know, we go for hikes and whatnot, but I've never actually seen Bigfoot. There are people here who have claimed to see Bigfoot.
Yes. Something out of the corner of your eye, and, you look, and it's not there.
Is he really big?
I think so.
Or is it feet just
Maybe they're going to have some casts of his foot here.
You hear anything?
Because I was reading about that, and I'm very interested to see if there's some kind of physical
like a
evidence.
fossil
Yes.
of a foot.
Yes.
And here, can they tell me, is he big, or is it just his foot that's big? Because his name is Bigfoot.
Well, I think he's called Bigfoot, but he was originally Sasquatch.
And is he?
And then in the media, they started calling him Bigfoot.
But why is he not called Big Feet?
I think that's plural. Like if you have two big feet together.
Just one big foot.
One big foot, and if they're coming a herd, it's big feet.
All right. Well, I think we're going to talk to some people about Bigfoot sightings and paranormal activity. You ready?
I'm excited. Let's do it.
Tony?
Yep.
Tony.
Lavorna?
Yep.
Oh,
Lavorna.
Lavorna.
That's a really nice name.
I spent 26 years researching everything between that falls within the realm of the paranormal or supernatural. I have 3 books accredited to my profession. The first one that I appeared in was Supernatural Lore, Ghosts, Monsters, and Miracles, along with Professor Thomas White of Duquesne University. The second book that we co-authored was entitled Haunted Roads of Pennsylvania, where we basically take our readers on a legend trip experience through the many different...
Have you been to Quaker Church?
Yes, I have. Stay away. Yes.
I went to school near there, and kids would always say, like, during high school, we're going to go to Quaker Church. I said, oh, no.
It's in the cemetery. No, stay away.
So what is this book you have here?
This book here is entitled Astonishing Tales of Pennsylvania, Curiosities, Curses, and Creatures. In the first part, we kind of deal with everything from haunted houses. We have near-death experiences. In the second part of the book, I talk about curses, towns that have said to have some type of curse.
Oh, you know what I just read the other day? So, I read that Madden, the NFL Madden game, is cursed.
Don't know anything about that.
I did. I read, yes, that if you were on the cover, typically if you're on the cover of Madden, then your career goes down.
I have heard that. I don't know. Maybe starting a new legend. Maybe starting a new part of.
Maybe you could write that in your next book.
Maybe I can.
Now, in your book, do you talk about any encounters that you yourself have had?
I have experienced some encounters. Over 26 years, you can imagine there are different things that have happened that have dealt with apparitions. I have not seen a Bigfoot personally. There are a lot of people here today, though, who have experienced many different things in different regions. We have a wide variety of people speaking here at today's event, and it's a real honor to be here with these people.
So tell me the story that stands out the most to you, is what you've experienced personally.
There are so many throughout the years. That's a good question. I recall one time recently I was down in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, Boston, PA, at a place we call Dead Man's Hollow. And there are many different...
Why would you go to a place named Dead Man's Hollow?
It's what I do. While we were there with a group of paranormal investigators who were taking some civilian people on a tour, we went to one of the old sites that were destroyed, that there was a fire, and the factory burnt down. So upon the site, I was there, I was taking some pictures. Usually take 3 pictures in succession. When I got there, the first picture was absolutely normal. The second picture, again, pretty normal. The third picture, though, turned out to have a form, a mist in it that I cannot explain. There was no type of precipitation that night. There was no type of condensation coming from the ground or rain. So kind of all of this, it wasn't there when we took the picture. Afterwards, it was there.
When you're in these places, do you feel a specific presence ever when you're in these sites?
I'm scared.
There's places that have been, that I would rather not go back to. Yes, if that answers your question.
So you like to specialize more in the paranormal than the Bigfoot?
I do. Cryptozoological studies kind of can fall under things that are sometimes classified as supernatural. Right.
So do you have any places planned in the future to go to?
Oh, tons of them. There's a lot of.
Have you been to St. Vincent? I know St. Vincent's supposed to be haunted. Yeah, we both went there. So.
Duquesne also has some issues. So yes, there's a lot.
Well, you seem to have experienced a lot of things.
I've had my share.
More than what I ever want to experience, but that's okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
So we are here with Johnny. He's a field researcher. I mean, look at his shirt. Bigfoot Research Group. I mean, tell me about Bigfoot. First of all, let me back up. Have you seen Bigfoot?
I saw 3 of them.
Were they the same Bigfoot?
No. There were 3 different areas in Fayette County that I've seen them.
Now, are they really furry?
They have a lot of hair. They're 7.5 foot tall. Shoulders almost twice as wide as mine. I've found tracks. I heard them.
What do they sound like?
Well, you get some of them that have like a whoop, and then other ones growl. Some are actually a loud scream at certain times of year. That sounds almost like a woman screaming and an animal combination. Yeah, but the only time they hear that's like in March, April, that time of year.
Is that like their mating season?
I don't know what the reason for it is, but that's whenever the people that have come to me with it have all been early spring sightings.
Okay. How did you get started or interested in wanting to look for Bigfoot?
I had a sighting about 6.5 years ago on the side of the road, and I didn't have anybody to tell. I knew it wasn't a bear because I've hunted my whole life in Pennsylvania. In Ohio, well, I did hunt in Ohio a little bit, but West Virginia a lot too. I knew it wasn't a bear, didn't know what it was I saw. It was 25 feet off the road in an open field. I didn't know what it was. For the next 5.5 years, I had something that woke me up. Its face was right here in front of my face every night, in almost a panic. And I thought I was going nuts, but you have nobody you can tell this to because nobody understands. So I was loading a wood burner at home, and there was a newspaper about Fred's group, this group here. We went up to it, met everybody that Tuesday night, ate dinner with them and stuff. I told my story. From then on, I could sleep again. I started researching. It's been 2 years now I've been researching, and I've done a lot of miles in the woods, but I've got a lot of, evidence I've found. I've found a lot of tracks. I've cast 22 tracks already, which is a lot because a lot of people have been doing this for 20, 25 years and never cast a track.
What does casting a track mean?
Whenever you take and you put plaster of Paris or Hydra Shock, it's called. You can put in it to cast it. I have all these castings at home. My wife's like, what are you going to do with these? I keep recasting them and taking them and giving them to people, but I have them all under my bed. The whole underneath my bed's full of cast.
Did you bring any today for people? Are there any casts today
I
to see?
actually have one in the van that I'm giving to a guy that's doing a presentation in Ohio in a few weeks. I'm going to give it to him. It's a recast because I won't bring originals because the first event I went to, I watched Fred go to put one on a table, an original. He dropped it and broke. Once you break, you can't fix it.
Do you think that Bigfoots are very good at hiding?
I know they are. They blend in.
Are they like camouflage like a chameleon?
I don't know if they're camouflage, but they do know how to go in the shadows of the woods. They're very intelligent. They know they've been here a lot longer than we have, in my opinion. They know the woods. They know how to live.
Do you think they can smell humans, and that's how they're so good at hiding?
I think that's one of the things, and they hear too, because the one I saw, actually, when a guy was coming back into the place we were at with his truck, he had unlocked the gate down below. It turned and looked down that hill, and then walked back in the woods. It was standing less than 50 feet away from me, and whenever it got to the woods, the truck come around the corner. Then it was up on top of posted property. I do a lot of my research off private property so that it's not contaminated by humans, where people can say, well, somebody did that or this or that.
Right. Now, do you think that they bury their own dead so that they are not found, or why don't you think they want to be found?
I think there might be something about that. I don't know for sure. That's like, what are they? Are they spiritual? Are they this? I can't answer any of that. Are they animal? The only thing I can answer is that they are here. Okay, what they are exactly, I cannot say. You know.
All right. Yeah, I think you know, you're very knowledgeable when it comes to Bigfoot. You know how to find them, because you said you've seen 3, and there are many people who haven't seen any their whole life.
And I've been very lucky because of meeting Fred and some of the other people. Then I got online. I got a lot of friends that are really good researchers. So I have people from Ohio, West Virginia, New York, Canada, that are all top quality, that you can trust, you know. And whenever I share stuff with them and then they share their stuff back, it's like, how can they be doing the same thing all the way out in the middle of Canada that they're doing here? You know, these things just don't happen. A lot of people think that everything's not, either they think it's all Bigfoot in the woods or they think nothing's Bigfoot. There's a lot that is nature, but there's a lot we can't explain that could be being done by Bigfoot.
All right.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah, all right. Well, very good. Thank you so much. So we are here with Doug from SOSP. What is SOSP?
Southeastern Ohio Society for Bigfoot Investigations.
So are you like head honcho there?
Well, I was one of the co-founders.
Okay.
And we have meetings and campouts. We're from
Campouts?
Guernsey County area.
Aren't you afraid that Bigfoot will get you if you camp out?
Hasn't yet.
How many big feet have you found?
I haven't actually seen one, but I have found tracks. We found hair on a fence. We were close enough to smell one time.
What do they smell like?
Well, the one that we think we were close to smelled like sulfur, rotten eggs. We've found tracks. We found broken, twisted trees and things. Most of this was over around Salt Fork, where we're from in Ohio.
Did you grow up with the legend of Bigfoot, or what got you interested in starting your own organization to try to find him?
I wasn't even aware of Bigfoot until the mid-'70s, when there was a creature in Missouri tramping around, and they called it Momo, for Missouri Monster.
Oh, okay.
And so I got interested in it. And then there was a fellow in Ohio in the early 1980s that started having Bigfoot meetings. So I went to some of those meetings, and I would keep up with magazine articles and newspaper articles. In 1992, I started working at the library in Guernsey County. Well, I started reading anything I could get a hold of, you know. So I'm up over 200 and some books that I've read, and I'm just so interested in it. So we started researching, you know, ourselves, and we started this group, and I've written 4 books now, and I'm working on the 5th.
Wow. What are your books about?
Well, the first one is how I got involved with this and how we met the people from the Finding Bigfoot program and some of the investigations we were on. And then we started doing public speaking, like events like this and libraries and things. And then I started getting reports from people that had had sightings. And one thing led to another, and before you knew it, I had enough to do a book.
Wow.
And now I've spoken maybe 120 times across 4 or 5 states. And there's just so many stories out there. And I've actually had people come up to me and tell me of something that happened even before the Patterson-Gimlin film, which was 1967. Okay. You know, if you give a witness an opportunity to speak without being laughed at, they'll do so. But people don't like to be made fun of and laughed at. And a lot of them tried to tell what they saw, and they were immediately doubted and laughed at, and so they just clam up. And I'm trying to find these stories and preserve them in a book.
Good. I'm sure that they're happy that someone's willing to do that and to listen to them, because they probably feel isolated when they see something.
You know, they think, am I crazy? Am I the only one that saw this thing? And we've actually brought a lot of these people together, and they've become friends and bonded with other witnesses.
So say I have a Bigfoot sighting. Is there some way where I can get in touch with you and tell you my story?
Yeah, a lot of people just go on the internet and they say, I saw a Bigfoot. I've had calls not just from Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. I've had calls from Texas, Florida, Idaho.
Have you had any other than in the North America?
I had a fellow last year that come up and talked to me at one of the conferences. I think it was in New York. And he saw something in Brazil when he was in the military. They were flying in a helicopter, and they were headed for, I believe it was the Amazon River, and the pilot saw something. He kind of scared it out of the brush, and it kind of got caught out in the open. The brush was only about 5 feet tall, and this thing was 8 or 9 feet tall, and it made a mad dash for these trees, and the helicopter pilot kept circling around and going back, and it wouldn't come back out of those trees.
Do you have any physical evidence, or people that have come to you with physical evidence that's really compelling in your mind?
Well, we have tracks, we have photographs. Oftentimes they're not the best. Some people actually have had face-to-face encounters, and they've had a camera with them and were so worked up they didn't even think about using it or was surprised. We've sent hair samples in, and unfortunately our sample didn't have a follicle, so there was no DNA. But oftentimes hair will be submitted to a college or university, and they say, well, we've got good news and bad news. What's the good news? The good news is we can tell you what it isn't. Well, what's the bad news? Bad news is we can't say it's from Bigfoot because we don't have a sample of a Bigfoot hair, but we do have samples of everything else, and it doesn't match any of those. So that tells me there's something out there that we don't know. We haven't
identified yet. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else that you think we need to know about Bigfoot or paranormal activity or anything like that?
I would say, don't laugh when somebody tells you something. Read as much as you can. I grew up working in a library, and so a lot of times you get online, you find a lot of very dubious things on there. But if someone takes the time to publish something and it's in a bound book, I think it has a lot more credibility than something online. But learn about Bigfoot, learn their habits and their traits and where they're seen and how a lot of these witnesses have seen them. Learn what the way they act. And
so really just educate yourself about Bigfoot and really take the time to listen to someone if they have a story.
Right.
All right, very good. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We've talked to a lot of people so far, and they have a lot of good information. When I walked in here, I was a little like, I don't know, but I don't ever put it out of the realm of possibility because we don't know all the creatures that are on the earth. Like, I think, how many do they find each year? We'll say 3. I don't know.
They did just find an animal, I believe in Vietnam in 1992, and it was kind of like a cow. It was a big animal they had never seen before, ever.
Right.
And it's only been around for 20 years that they've known it's even existed.
And this is why I think if Bigfoot is really, really good at hiding, he has some sort of camouflage, he's not very smelly, he could hide for a very long time, and he could be seen if he wants to be seen, because maybe he's intelligent like a dolphin.
Yeah, I don't really, maybe. Like a dolphin. Yeah, I don't know what I think about it. I personally don't think I believe that there's a Bigfoot.
But you're wrong, but that's okay.
Okay, but at the same time, I think the takeaway for me is that you need to listen to people, you need to keep an open mind, and that these people have found something that builds community for them, that is important for them, and that they're people just like anyone else that have beliefs, and that we need to respect them.
So talking about Bigfoot brings me to, what are your thoughts on the paranormal activity and all that kind of stuff that could potentially happen?
I mean, I've heard a lot of stories. I've heard a lot of like near-death experience stories where people have gone to the other side and had experiences. Certainly, I believe in spirits.
Right. Yeah.
Whether they're positive or negative. That's why I asked that other man about energy. Like when you're in a place where you feel like there could be something.
Right.
What kind of energy exists, or how do you feel when you're there? Is it like scary, or do you feel happy? I believe, in that I might have spirits in my home and different things like that.
Have you ever personally experienced some sort of spiritual whatever?
I did when I was little. My mom was praying in church, and there was a woman, and she was praying. She was elderly, and my mom started speaking to her. She wanted a ride home, and me and my brother, she picked us up from school. We drove her home. We were super like, why is this lady in our car? We don't know her. Like, why are you taking her somewhere? And she wanted dropped off at Bailey Park in Uniontown, where obviously that's a big open space.
Right.
She said her home was nearby. She'd walk the rest of the way. So she got out of the car. She was talking about like angels and all these things the whole time, and about the Blessed Mother and all these crazy things. She got out of the car. My mom turned the car around, and she was gone. She was not there.
So maybe, do you think that was more maybe like an angel?
Maybe some kind of angel or spirit, or like a test to see if we would do the right thing and pick her up and be a good person, good neighbor. And I don't know what it was, but obviously
it was something that wasn't typical.
No, something that was very strange, and we all felt very at peace afterwards, and we weren't sure what it was, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right.
So who knows?
Yeah, we're not sure exactly. I mean, I think that's some of the mysteries. We don't know, and we can't figure it out. So we're going to keep doing research, keep doing stuff to try to figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I think everything they're saying is very interesting. I'd like to see a cast. I really want to see this Bigfoot cast and how it's made.
I wonder if it looks like our foot. Like, you know how most people, like, you have your toes, and then you have an arch. I wonder if they're like arch, or if they're like flat-footed, or if their foot is more like round. You know what I mean? Like, I'm curious about
I'm curious. I'd like to really know why there aren't any bones of Bigfoot. I'd really like to know that. I'd really like
Maybe they eat themselves. I mean,
I don't know. I've heard different theories about them being like interdimensional beings, that the reason you can't find any of them is because there's these wormholes they go through in other dimensions.
Did you learn that off of Harry and the Henderson?
No, I didn't learn that one on there. That was Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah, good. All right, I think, you know what, I think we can do some more interviews. Looks like a lot of people just came out of the speech that what was going on. I bet they have some good stories for us.
Yeah,
let's go check it out.
To them.
So we are here with Brian, and he is part of the Center for Cryptozoological
Center for Cryptozoological Studies.
And what is that?
Cryptozoology is the study of hidden or unknown animals not recognized by science. There's no proof of their existence.
Animal. Crypt. Zoo. Got it.
Cryptid meaning hidden.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. So what are some of the hidden animals that have not yet been identified through science?
One of the main ones is even here today is Bigfoot.
He's here.
Well, we're talking about him.
I thought he was like...
He might be
That would be awesome. We could get an interview.
Bigfoot.
No.
Does anyone have one?
To date, no one has a specimen, allegedly.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what all these people here today.
Do you think someone's hiding that they really do know for sure?
That's been a theory that the government knows, and they actually have a body.
Like
but
in Area 51?
I don't know about Area 51, but
Similar to that.
to date, we have to say no.
Okay. Have you personally ever seen a Bigfoot?
No, that's why I'm in it. This is why I do this, so I can hopefully see one and retire.
Oh, I see. Have you found any casted any footprints, or found any hair or anything?
In 2002 up on Chestnut Ridge, I was with the group that we casted one small print and one large print on the side of a logging road, but that's been it.
Do you think it was like a mom and a baby?
That's what somebody says, because one was, I think, 14 and one was 7, so it seemed like it was a juvenile. But there was only one print of each, which is unusual. Yeah.
Have you been interested in this for a long time?
Since I've been a kid in the 70s, watching In Search Of and Legend of Boggy Creek and things like that. Yeah.
Very good. Did your family always tell stories around the? I've always heard
Most
those
of my
things are
family
from.
doesn't believe it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, do you-
I'm lucky my wife does. So, we're
There you go. So do you and your wife go on adventures together looking?
yeah, we've had our first group, Q, Center for Unexplained Events, since 1986. So we've been doing this a long time. So we have a huge library downstairs. We research everything from ghosts to UFOs to cryptids. Yeah.
Any good stories you need to tell us about any paranormal activity that you've been involved in, or any of your zoological, anything interesting that you would say?
Well, we were up in, as far as on the ghost end, we were up in a church in Erie that was said to be haunted, and we went downstairs to the preacher who we know. He took us downstairs to look at something, and the whole church was locked down. There was nobody else in the church. Nobody could have got in it, and we heard footsteps coming down the steps downstairs, and then the door started to shake. So we went right around the corner, and there was nobody there. We went through the whole church. Nobody was there. So allegedly, there was a I believe a ghost of a woman there, and they caught a shadow figure there. So
Now, I've heard a lot of times when you go looking for these kinds of things, then these spirits will kind of attach themselves to you. And are you ever afraid that because you go to these places that somehow you're going to be attacked by spirits in some way?
it does happen to some people. I'm never afraid. Some of us do a cleansing ritual, and so you don't bring anything home.
Do you have like special like technology that you use that like beeps or something when?
We have EMF meters,
Okay.
night vision, things like that we
Night vision.
we try to capture these.
Have you ever seen something with your night vision?
No, just other normal animals. No, nothing abnormal. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, but so you're still in the search for Bigfoot. You haven't found them yet. Have you found other things like on your shirt? You said that this is like.
We've talked to eyewitnesses. We haven't found any actual proof. We've talked to the eyewitnesses, and we get reporting forms. We just got a form of a dog-like creature seen in Norton, Ohio, but it was several years ago. We got a drawing and just yesterday. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're out there. We just haven't found them yet.
Something's out there. We don't know what it is. We do believe something's out there though. So do most of the people.
I mean, a lot of people are here, and I was really surprised because I've never attended anything like this, and I don't think you have either, Jackie. And we weren't really sure, but it seems like a lot of people are curious about it and want to know about it.
Yeah, Bigfoot is your number one cryptid. Everybody wants. I mean, look, it has They have jerky, right? Jack Link's jerky. Bigfoot. Bigfoot is very popular. It's the hottest cryptid right now. So, events like this is a free event too. So it's always going to be packed.
I think if more people would come to these events, more people would look for Bigfoot, and then maybe be able to find him easier.
Let's hope so.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
All right. So we're here with Bob, but look at this shirt. Before you even say anything, I mean, this is great. We really like that. So obviously you believe in Bigfoot.
Yes.
Tell me about the experience you had with him or her. I don't know what gender is it. Do we know that?
I have no idea.
Okay, but tell me about it.
It was me and my brother. There was a car burnt up in the mountains here. And really what it was, my brother had a Mustang at the time, and we was going to see if the wheels would fit on my brother's car. So we shut the car off and we go up, and we're checking out the bolt pattern. Back then, you only have little flashlights. Something jumped on the top of this car and scared the living out of us. And I mean, we seen it, and tell you the truth, we ran, never went, and to me, that was true. I mean, I can't explain it.
Was it hairy?
Oh yeah, it was big and hairy, and
Did it make dents in your car?
we booked. Tell you the truth, we don't know. We took
And it
off.
wasn't a bear.
Oh no, it was 2 feet, and it was standing. It jumped on top of the car and scared the hell out of us.
Did it growl at you or anything?
I really don't remember.
You were just too scared. You just.
Yeah, like I said, we booked, but it was big and on top, and it jumped on top. And I'll swear on a Bible, if you went, it was there. It was on top, and we ran.
Have you ever experienced anything like that again?
No. But I lived in the mountain for 30-some years, and I've known bears and all this. That was no bear. It was on top of that car, and we ran. So.
Man, that's craziness.
So ever since then, have you been trying to find evidence and just
we've
everything you
tried.
can know about him?
Yeah, we've looked around a little bit, but that was the only occurrence I've ever had. And it was real. It was there. I mean, it was no imagination. It was there.
Did it?
Okay. Were you scared to tell anyone, or that people
hell
might
yeah,
laugh?
we didn't tell anybody for a long time. Me and my brother, we didn't want to tell anybody because nobody would believe us.
Did it scare you enough to where you just don't want to look anymore?
Oh yeah, really, tell you the truth, it was big. It was there, and There was no imagination. It was
Never
there.
again.
Nope.
You had your fill of Bigfoot. He was good. He scared you, and then you were gone. All right, awesome. Well, thank you.
Hey, no problem.
All right, we are here with John Ventry, and you specialize in UFOs and what else?
Hauntings and end-time prophecy.
What is that?
All right, so we haven't heard about end-time prophecies. Tell us what that is.
Well, I spent 11 years researching various cultures and their religious beliefs on how the world will end. So, and I wrote 3 books on that, 3 on UFOs and 2 on hauntings. Spent 3 years on television and had a 45-minute interview on the Anderson Cooper show.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Whoa. So really, you're a celebrity. We should be getting your autograph.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about UFOs. We haven't talked much about that today. Have you seen one?
No, I've never seen a UFO. I saw one thing that was unidentified, and when I did the research like we do, it turned out to just be a meteor. For the people in the public that watch Project Blue Book, I would be the Dr. Alan Hynek character. I even got the goatee that goes with it.
Okay.
But just scientifically explain what this phenomena is.
So when you say research, what does that mean? Like, I obviously know like what research is, but how do you research?
Well, there's actually a number of websites you can go to where if you put the zip code in and the date, they tell you everything that flew above, whether it's a satellite or a meteor, an asteroid, anything. And we are able to eliminate about 80% of the sightings as a natural or man-made object. And then about 10% turn out to just be hoaxes. When you ask somebody what happened next and they can't tell you, you know, you made it up. But then there's about 10% of the cases that you're really just left with what the person said, and they're credible, and they can tell you everything that happened. So those are the very detailed, and those are the unidentified ones.
What is one of the most cool things that you have seen or have heard from someone?
Well, I actually investigated in 2008 a case in Bucks County. And the 2 cases in particular, one ended up with trace evidence. There was boron on this tree, which really shouldn't have been there. And the other case, we got radar of a large object with no transponder matched up exactly with the case that the person filed. So those are 2 good cases, but we don't know what it was. It could be military. I mean, we don't know what it was.
I think that's really good because a lot of the people that we've talked to, they've kind of just go out on their own, but you really delve into a lot of it scientifically, and that you are willing to say what when it's not something.
Yeah,
so that
well,
gives you a lot of credibility.
Yeah, and you know, there's only really a very small number of cases. As a matter of fact, the famous Kecksburg case, not far from here, an engineer and I think absolutely proved it was a U.S. spy satellite that crashed. Everything about it matched up with the GE Mark II satellite that we were launching out of Johnson Island in the South Pacific, and it crashed in Kecksburg. So, you know, I have disproved some famous cases also.
Okay. So where did you get your education and background in order to do this?
Well, after writing the 3 books on end-time prophecy, I got an interest in UFOs. I had no interest prior to that, and I was about 40 years old. So what I did was I joined the Mutual UFO Network, and I actually was the Pennsylvania State Director of that, which is all the training and how to do this. And I was a multi-state director because I didn't want to be a copy and paste author, and I really joined to be the author. That's what it was. But I didn't want to copy and paste off the internet, so I said, let me do the investigations and actually learn what it is, then I can write my books. And I wrote 3 on that topic.
Wow, you sound like you're pretty busy with this.
Yeah, I am. Well, no, not anymore. I actually retired from this 2 years ago. I do Fred a favor, because this is a free event for the fire department. He did one for a local park, so I was a speaker. So I pretty much help him out.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
So here we are with Fred. Fred, tell me what it means to be the director of the Bigfoot Symposium.
All right, well, you know, our group, okay, Bigfoot, Fayette County Bigfoot Research Project.
Right here.
Yeah, okay. We're a grassroots organization.
Okay.
All right. We want to find out what Bigfoot really is.
Okay.
As you can see, the people here, nobody paid to get in here.
Right.
Okay, this is the second time we've done this now in Fayette County.
Okay.
We're doing another one in the fall down in Brownsville. We get together once a month, and we have our meetings. We go out on hikes together.
Can we come on a hike?
Yeah, we really want to do that.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah,
Can I wear hiking boots?
yeah. There's snakes.
And camo.
There-
Do I have to wear camo?
I don't own camo, but I could buy
you
some.
can.
Okay, because I don't want Bigfoot to see me. I want to see him.
No, he'll see you. Okay.
Do they hunt people, or do they just not want to be found
They
at
don't
all?
want to be around people.
They don't.
They don't wanna be around
I don't blame them.
Well, you look at it. You got a lot of people want to shoot them.
Shoot
Bigfoot,
shoot
yeah.
me.
You heard them, yeah. There's people who would like to have his head hanging above their mantle up
That's
there.
not nice.
I know a guy. Him and his partner. Excuse me. I think they'd love to shoot one. So
What about stuff him?
Huh?
What about stuff him?
It's going to take a hell of a lot of stuffing. I mean, these things weigh 600-700 pounds.
Wait, can we go back to the hiking since we want to hike?
Yeah. What do you do on a hike?
Okay, we go out.
Do you have a water bottle?
Huh?
Do you have a water bottle?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I need to know for when I go on a hike with you if I'm allowed to bring a water
I
bottle.
carry a water bottle and the judge.
Okay.
You know what the judge is?
I do.
All right.
I do.
I don't carry a judge to shoot somebody. I carry the judge in case we see a rattlesnake or
I
whatever.
understand. Okay.
We had a rattlesnake here down in West Virginia 2 years ago. Its head was twice as big as my fist.
I don't really want to see any rattlesnakes on
I want
this
to go on
hike.
a hike with you, but without snakes.
Yeah, no snakes.
Well, we can't say that. I mean, you're out in the woods. I mean, there are snakes out there.
So what do you do when you go on these hikes with your
Okay, we
team?
go
What do you
out.
guys do?
We go out and we look for evidence. Like, okay, is there any tracks around? Okay, like tree bends, tree twists.
So a Bigfoot can actually twist a tree?
Yeah. And get a tree and they twist it, they'll break it.
Okay.
And that's like about 7 foot high.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so you know it ain't a human.
Okay.
See, right now there's a lot of humans out there trying to make Bigfoot stuff.
Right. Because they're being jerked.
Yeah. So, you got to really look at it. And, we find a lot of tracks. Like I got about 15 casts at home.
Okay. Are they different sizes?
Yeah, all different sizes.
Have you ever seen a baby one?
No, I've never seen a Bigfoot.
But have you ever seen a baby cast? Like a
No.
baby?
Just the adults one.
So when are you going on this hike?
Huh?
When do you go on a hike?
I won't know till Tuesday. We're having our meeting Tuesday night.
Oh, do you think you could let us know about a hike? Because we're really interested.
There's a card.
There's a card.
Give me a call Wednesday or Thursday. and I'll
Wednesday or
let you know.
Thursday. We're going to call you. And this is what you think Bigfoot looks like?
Maybe, yeah.
A no-kill organization.
Yeah, we don't believe in killing it.
So if you ever found a Bigfoot, what would you do? Did you ever think about it? What if I actually it was right in front of me? What would I do?
Do you have traps to set?
No.
Would you take his picture?
Would you talk to him?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Try
I
to communicate?
I tried to, yeah. I don't think we'll see one. They don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been in this now for 40-some years. I've never seen one.
You've never seen
No. And I mean, like I say, I don't, I could lie and say, hell, man, I've seen 15 of them, but I don't lie. I tell it like it is.
Right, good.
And, I mean, I've seen things behind a tree,
Okay.
like a head, like Bigfoot, he comes around, he got his head out. I've seen things, excuse me, look like that, but when you walk up to it, there's nothing there.
Okay. So the likelihood of us, when we're on our hike with you, is not to see him, but we could see evidence of him being there.
You could see a Bigfoot, too.
Oh, I could.
Yeah, it's very possible.
It's possible.
Yeah,
Right.
like Johnny that talked to you earlier.
Yeah.
He told you about the time we was up. I mean, we went up there. Anytime you find a pond around a Bigfoot area, you're going to find tracks. Okay? And that means Bigfoot's around there. Now, we seen something up on the hill that day. I can't say it was Bigfoot. I can't see that good. But anyhow, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. But like I said, you're liable to see it any time. I mean, really.
Right. So we really do want to go, we're not just saying this. We really want to go on a hike for you.
I'll let
Try
you
to
guys
find,
know. Yeah.
we'll call you and we'll set up this hike
Okay.
because, we want to see Bigfoot.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
We learned a lot today. We learned that it is possible. We learned that just because someone says it, you can believe them, but maybe they are not quite sure.
Right. Believe that they're not lying. They really believe that they saw something.
I believe you that you believe that you saw.
Truly believe that you saw something.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of it. And everyone was very nice. There were a lot of people here, so it's obviously garnered a lot of interest.
A lot of vendors, a lot of things you can buy. I mean, there's shirts, there's jewelry, there's food. There's
Pull
food
the
in
pork.
it. Good, man. Pull the pork?
Pull that pork.
There you go. Pull the pork. All right, awesome. Well, I think we are going to go on a Bigfoot hike here soon.
Yes.
We get to actually go and explore and see if, and maybe because we're there, we will bring Bigfoot out. I think, I think typically it's guys that go. And
I think they're afraid of men and that they need some women to coax them out, like our nurturing side.
Yes.
It's okay.
It's okay to come out. I'll pet you, and then I'll let you go.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, well, this has been fun. I'm Jackie Shopes.
And I'm Mary Stampy.
And this is Challenge Accepted.